First music I heard when I was a kid was on the radio in the 70s, and it was a lot of pop music, and a lot of it was really great from different bands of that time. I had missed the Beatles because I was too young. I was born in 1970. So I heard some of their songs on the radio that would get played again and again. But what I heard, now I realize retrospectively, was bands that had been influenced by the Beatles. And so many bands were so many singer-songwriters. I'm a piano player, and so I was starting piano. I started when I was 5 years old, and one of my idols very early became Billy Joel, and I was struck by the way he used the piano in rock and roll, and it was inspiring for me, and I wanted to do that. And I think that a lot of his music, the depth of his songwriting, the harmony, the daring choices he made, and another piano rocker like Elton John as well, and a lot of bands in general that use the piano in a unique way. I think that was something new that the Beatles brought, and also a band that was going on at the same time as them, the Beach Boys. They brought the piano more into the forefront of the music and not just guitars. Another thing that they brought into the music was, I hesitate to use this word because I'm a jazz musician, and sometimes people refer to music outside of jazz and they say it swings. Maybe you have a friend who loves Bach and you've heard him or her say, Bach swings. And I know what they mean, but I think it's a little risky because swing is such an elemental thing to jazz and to Black American music, and Bach doesn't swing in the same way. Still, there's something, I'm going to use that word and really give it a caveat that it's not exactly the same thing, in reference to a couple of the Beatles songs I did on this record. And I'll show you what I mean. Your Mother Should Know. Let's imagine if we could also say, in musical terms, we could say that the notes are dotted, which is how to put it in correct musical terms. If I didn't play them dotted, and that's the way they did it, it might sound like this, and you'll hear the difference. Quite different, a little more when we hear it now. For me, if I heard it like that, it sounds a little square and rigid. So that's something that, to my knowledge, the Beatles and also a band in tandem with them, the Beach Boys, were bringing together at the same time. The swinging or dotted rhythms that I knew from pop music before I heard the Beatles when I was a kid were from, for instance, from a band that I loved and I was a kid, and they really caught my imagination because they used the piano also, or some version of electric piano, Supertramp. I'm pretty sure they would say that they were indebted to the Beatles in their songs. I'll play a little snippet of one called The Long Way Home, and you can hear again that swinging quality. Well, there's one more thing I can say about some of these songs that have the swinging quality. The other one on this collection is Maxwell's Silver Hammer. I was looking for a word to describe it, and the best I could come up with is frumpy, maybe in the best sense of the word. And it's something I think that Paul brought to the music on songs like these two, but also When I'm 64. And I would guess that it's a quality of the music that he's talked about hearing when he grew up in his household, and it certainly wasn't rock and roll. And somehow he found a way to bring in this other kind of sort of big bandy English music, and make it something completely unique and very much central to a lot of their music. So a little bit wonderfully frumpy and a little bit swinging, qualifying both of those terms. Here's a version of "And Your Mother Should Know."